Hard Eyes is the new comedy romance slasher directed by Josh Ruben. The logline is as follows. For the past several years, the Heart Eyes killer has wreaked havoc on Valentine's Day by stalking and murdering romantic couples. This Valentine's Day, no couple is safe. I didn't recognize Josh Ruben from his name, but I did recognize him from the 2-second cameo he has in this movie. This is the dude from College Humor. I just had to mention that because I love when YouTubers are able to successfully make the jump to film. It's very inspiring to see. I went into this movie with low expectations since I'm not really a slasher or a romance guy. But I gotta say, I really liked this movie. I knew the horror would be good, but what surprised me was how good the comedy and romance was. The actors in this movie have some real chemistry, and I found myself rooting for them in the end, which is weird since I usually never feel that way while watching romance movies. And I thought how they tackled the different viewpoints on love was interesting and well done. As stated before, I don't usually watch slashers, so I can't say how the kills compare to other films, but I liked them in this movie. I didn't find it necessarily scary, but it was pretty bloody, so if that's your thing, I bet you'll enjoy this movie. The comedy was mostly great, as there were some really clever lines and jokes that were right up my alley. But at the same time, there were a handful of lines and deliveries that made me cringe. It was mostly when the screenwriters tried to tackle some Gen Z slang, and it came off as out of touch and like they were trying too hard. The main issue I had with this movie was the suspension of disbelief. The beginning of the film is somewhat grounded, but as the movie goes on, it gets more and more ridiculous. So you have to adjust your level of believability as the plot evolves, which is a bit jarring. Additionally, a lot of the exposition is told through news reports, which I thought was pretty lazy. Another big problem is that this movie feels like a Valentine's Day flavored Scream. The filmmakers for Hard Eyes are very tongue-in-cheek with the cliches of the genre, and it pushes this movie into satire territory, which Scream has already done, and has done much better. This aspect left me very conflicted, but it didn't fully compromise the movie for me. It also doesn't help that one of the main actors from the Scream franchise is the lead in this film. So in conclusion, Hard Eyes is a fun time. The lead actors have some really good chemistry together, which sells the romance in the heart of the film. Additionally, even though there were a few cringe moments, as a whole the comedy was really solid. However, this comedy comes at a price, since it encroaches into parody territory, which the Scream franchise has already covered, so it can make this film come off as derivative. This, compounded with the iffy plot decisions, could ruin the film for some, but at the end of the day, Hard Eyes is still entertaining and makes a great date night movie for the holiday. 3.5 stars.